Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have a Todoroki X listener. It's The Early Birds by disco_lover on AO3. The link will be in the description. Go check them out. If you liked it, make sure to give them kudos, comments, whatever else. And let's go ahead and get into it. Finishing up their cereal, listener cleaned up what remained of their meal, placing their dirty bowl inside the dishwasher, taking in the sight of their surroundings. They were not used to living in the UA dorms just yet. It was their first night sleeping there. However, they could definitely get used to the luxurious environment. They just had to get more comfortable with their classmates, which as of right now feels like an impossible task. Listener had a tendency of waking up before most people. Their internal clock never seemed to allow them to sleep much later than 7 AM. Not that they ever minded. They found the first moments of the day peaceful, in a world surrounded by empowered individuals who are constantly competing against one another to be the best. They found it nice to have a few moments of serenity. Taking a seat on the couch by the window, they wanted to take this time to relax and watch the birds stir outside. It was just them and their sugary coffee. Well, not for long. While being zoned out, listener had yet to notice another early riser enter the room. Their eyes were too busy watching the sunlight settle on the outside landscape, seemingly causing a stir in birds and wildlife. Unbeknownst to them, listener was being watched from the hallway by a certain heterochromatic-eyed boy. Shoto Todoroki had a consistent morning routine that he was well adjusted to, so he was not expecting to see the common area occupied by anyone besides himself. Seeing listener staring out the window, undisturbed, almost made him feel guilty for his presence. He hadn't spoken to the new person, but he had seen them unloading their things into their room yesterday. He knew their name was listener from overhearing Midoriya and Ida discuss it during lunch. After realizing that he had been watching them for an uncomfortable number of seconds, he decided to clear his throat to make his presence known. Listener looked up from their comfortable position to see the boy walking towards the kitchen, taking notice of his peculiar half-red, half-white hair. It was unusual to see another person this early in the morning, and they wondered if he always woke up this early. He had obviously seen them, which made them regret being so unaware of their surroundings. I should just go up and talk to him. It's not that hard. Maybe he'll be my first UA friend. So they approached the kitchen and took note that he was pulling out ingredients of some sort. By the looks of it, he was making French toast. Listener took a seat on one of the stools and leaned onto the kitchen island that separated the two. "Do you need any help?" He looked up, seemingly startled. I guess he wasn't expecting any conversation to transpire. "Sorry, I just couldn't stand the silence anymore. I'm listener, by the way." They offered a small smile to be friendly. He took a moment. Maybe he's not much of a talker? "Right, I heard that there was going to be a new student. My name is Todoroki Shoto. Do you like French toast?" He seemed to plan every word carefully before he said it, causing him to come off as slightly awkward. Listener found this awkwardness endearing. "It's nice to meet you, Shoto, and actually, I already had cereal earlier. I wasn't expecting so many options. It seems like the school offers every type of food on the planet. I almost couldn't decide," they responded, hoping the conversation would remain this effortless. Wanting the exchange to continue, he asked, "Do you always wake up this early?" Pretty much. I'm not really sure why. My body has never really let me sleep late. What about you? Do you always wake up this early, or did you forget it was Saturday?" "I try to have a timely schedule, and this sort of gives me some extra time for training in private. Plus, the peace and quiet doesn't hurt," he said rather softly. "Oh, sorry if I'm impeding on your routine. I understand if you prefer to spend your mornings alone," they said, secretly hoping that he wouldn't send them away. "No, I really don't mind. I like your company, And also, if we keep meeting up like this, you can finally try some of my French toast, which seems just about finished," he said, retrieving a plate. Then, for the first time today, he smiled. A soft smile that listener couldn't help but find sweet. The fluttering feeling in their chest did not go unnoticed. He collected his toast and then walked around to the island to take a seat on one of the stools. He left one space in between the two teenagers. Trying to ignore this nervous feeling, they ask, "Are you thirsty? There's some coffee in the leftover pot that I can get you." Taking a moment of consideration, he agreed, and they went to the cabinet for a mug. They chose a random one and took a swift look back at him to see if the mug's feathered design was to his liking. He responded with a slight nod and then proceeded eating. Listener poured the rest of the coffee into the mug, while subconsciously humming a gentle tune that Shoto found himself getting lost in before getting knocked out of his daze when they slammed the mug onto the counter before him. He showed his appreciation with another one of his entrancing smiles. The silence was immediately interrupted with the sound of Shoto immediately spitting out the coffee. Listener watches in shock as he wipes his lips with a cringed face. "How much sugar did you put in this?" They frown with embarrassment. Is it really that bad? He can't help but laugh, while trying to get the sickly sweet taste out of his mouth. "Yes, did you forget to add actual coffee, or did you just put sugar into creamer?" Despite still being embarrassed, his laugh was contagious, and listener found it nearly impossible to contain their amusement. "I don't know, I put in a normal amount of sugar. What, don't tell me you like black coffee, do you?" Containing his cackle down to a smile, he says, "Yes, as a matter of fact, I do." "Gross, it's so bitter, you're like an old person," listener snorted. "It's better than whatever this is," he gestured to the mug. "Can you even call this coffee?" "Whatever, Grandpa," they teased. With that, their laughter died down. The combination of birds' distant chirping and the soft glow of the morning sunlight filled the room up with an ambiance that was almost mesmerizing. Not before long, Shoto had finished his meal. Listener took this as their cue to make their exit. They originally not planned on staying out of their room this long, but they came to find Shoto's presence compelling. They both parted ways, but not before Shoto called out to them. "Oh, and listener?" Stopping in their tracks, they glanced back at him, leaning on the doorway. "Yeah, I hope we can do this again," he asked almost hopefully. "But please never make me drink your coffee again," he smirked. "You're still a grandpa," they retorted. Entering their room, they couldn't contain the smile that had been playing on their lips ever since they first spoke. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. So go check out the author in the description, as I said earlier on in the video. Otherwise, music link, fanfic link, Discord link, and thumbnail art link will also be down there. So, check it out. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!